2004 Ferrari 360. A car so self-assured and worldly loved, if it were a guy, he could stick it in dry and the girl would still giggle.
Last Christmas we did the Elise, but this lady just sobbed while driving a sob. This year Ferrari is here to keep away all the weirdos.
What am I supposed to do with this? What am I supposed to do with this? Why am I driving this? I get to drive it. Ooh. So have dozens of others. Demurio's 360 is the village bicycle of Ferraris. The entire Northeast and most of Atlanta has driven her. Go watch the videos. Gotta do this. Gotta do this. It's Christmas. Alright, we're driving a Ferrari. So what do we need to know? This is a two-door, two-seater luxury sports car that debuted in 1999. It's a 3.6-liter naturally aspirated V8. It is presented under a rear window. This 4-cam V8 has 5 valves per cylinder and drinks from a 25-gallon fuel tank. At 8,500 RPM, the engine makes 400 horsepower or 298 kilowatts after pushing 275 pound-feet of torque at 4,750 RPM. The world never accepts anybody as they are, because the world has the power to change people, to reshape them into something either wholly new or completely unoriginal. The world creates the individual, and where there is an individual seeking independence, you will find the universe in confederacy against him or her, because the world demands conformity the way any regimented, ordered system would. The world is killing off the possibility of revolt like a character in a George R.R. Martin book. A drop of water can't just be a drop of water. It has to be the ocean. Enzo Ferrari started making sports cars only as a way to finance his Grand Prix and Le Mans career. He loved fast cars, but it didn't make sense to have a performance-tuned car if you were never going to drive it in its natural habitat, which is the track. In fact, Ferrari was a speed snob because people were buying Ferraris for prestige and visibility. He grew to hate most of his own consumer base. For Ferrari, this wasn't about profit margins or bottom lines. He wanted to create something he'd want to drive, something that would serve the purposes he'd need a car to serve. He wasn't thinking of consumers. He couldn't have given a simmering dump about what Johnny Disposable Income wanted. He wanted to make a car's car. Buying a car for what it represents rather than for what it is? That's a step backward. It's a boil on the ass of progress in his mind. I didn't know what to think when Demurio rolled up with this alpha male proclamation. And I mean that sincerely because even a Ford 350 dually is lower on the man pole than this Ferrari is. If you own a luxury work truck, you own a business, and people call you boss. But if you own a Ferrari, you own multiple businesses, and people call you sir. It doesn't matter that the 360 is an inexpensive Ferrari by Ferrari standards. It still turns you into a superior homo sapien in community eyes. See that guy over there? Yeah? That's Doug. He owns a Ferrari. Ooh. See? You pictured it. You just pictured that guy in your head. That's how powerful the word Ferrari is. Sure, there's McLaren, Koenigsegg, Lambo, Saleen, whatever you want, Pantera, Alfa Romeo, Zonda. Many of these cars are faster, some are better made, but they're not Ferraris. They're not transcended. Transcendent. Heavy word for Christmas, yes. Transcendentalism and the associated Romanicist movement which followed deified the individual. This means that the individual, you, is more important than the inhabited physical system, the car. That means that when you get out of a Ferrari as the driver, you still matter. When I drove Matt Farah's DeLorean, someone came up and talked to us, and he didn't care about us, he didn't care about Matt, he just cared about the D. When we drove an Aston Martin in Toledo, Ohio, one person knew it was an Aston Martin and wanted to know about this James Bond car sitting here, but he didn't want to know about us. But when I was driving with Doug, a motorcyclist came up to us, and he wanted to know who we were. You see? He didn't care about the car. I was driving, and the biker, for reference, he was riding a Honda CBR 500R, a newer one. He looked right at me and wanted to know right away what I did. What do you do for a living? How can I do what you do? And for this one moment, this scarlet car turned my letter A from asshole into able. See, this is why literature matters. This is why you have to care about books. You want to understand what Nathaniel Hawthorne was talking about in 18 blah blah blah? Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. In car form. You know what? For the rest of this review, I'm going to write in Nathaniel Hawthorne style. Merry Christmas. The prison door to average was thrown open on this holy Christian day, and this delicate equine came forth into the sunshine, which, falling down into cathedral interior constructed for colonial stomachs as to not make contact with the darkened circular tiller, seemed to stick to that lawfully protected embossed seat seal. But there was more real torture in the audience eyes as they beheld this Ferrari than even in Douglas DeMurio's pocketbook, for all of online was summoned to point its long finger. Then you were rousted by the unnatural bolts of Allen to fasten instrument clusters, and by the computational binary petroleum display and all 8 reaction chambers, which, in low-revolution events, report as softly as does the Ford Econoline van. It was, this piloting of one such Ferrari, a singular and insulated event to occur but once in your lifetime, and to move through the town reckless of economy. You might do this, yes, but vulcanized tires, the preachers of morals and margins, will vilify your body frailty in moments of firm cornering, yea, to shove, understeer, to sustain your ego's burden.
You better not sleep, you better not eat, you better not frown, he's bringing you meat. Regular is coming to town. He sees you when you're sleeping because he's in your house. He knows his car is far too nice to be talking trash about, but we'll do it, so what? It's holiday week. It could be much worse if it's normal you seek. Regular is coming to town. Happy holidays, everyone.